Chapter 11. The Party. The partygoers were dressed in hues of watermelon and peach, or was it nectarine? Plenty of gold jewelry created a dull gleam on the twilit deck. Francie, the only one in black, looked like she was on her way to a funeral. Circulating through the rooms, out onto the decks and back inside, she caught snippets of conversations. A couple of men in sport coats were discussing core samples with two guys in jeans and t-shirts. Another man rattled on about yields and commodity prices with a woman who could barely suppress her yawns. Who were these people? And where were the theater people? The impossibly thin people, the ratty sweaters, the tight black jeans, the sallow, spends all in one's time in a dark hole complexions? "Hello, darling," Mrs. Fredrickson said, sweeping up to Francie, looking classic and dramatic in a Grecian-style cerulean blue dress and carrying a tray of canapes. "So nice of you to come. The kids are in the family room." She waved her free hand toward a stairway. "Downstairs." "Mrs. Fredrickson?" Francie began, intending to explain who she really was, an actor looking for work. But Mrs. Fredrickson turned away, wafting the tray of appetizers past Francie, yet not close enough that she could actually nab one. "We were so drawn to the peace and quiet," she drawled to a woman nearby. "It was the kind of old-fashioned lake we found appealing, real woodsy." Francie looked out at the green sweep of lawn. A sprinkler chinged away at the far edge. "For liking it woodsy, you don't seem to have saved a lot of trees on your property," she mumbled. "Well, they're so messy, aren't they?" the other woman said. Oops, Francie thought. Big mouth. "All those leaves and twigs and things," the woman went on. "You have to constantly pick up after them." Francie wondered if this woman had any children, or if she'd gotten rid of them too once she discovered they were messy. A ruddy-faced man elbowed in to ask if she knew anybody looking to sell, or if she herself was looking to get rid of some property. He was interested in buying around here. "I don't own property," Francie answered. "This young lady is not a landowner, yet," Mrs. Fredrickson said. "She's a detective in New York." "Actually," Francie began, but all attention was at that moment diverted to a scene unfolding behind her. By the time Francie realized that people were not looking at her and turned to see what it was they were looking at, she caught the tail end of an argument that culminated with one of the many blonde women tossing a glass of something on someone. The someone, Francie noticed, was Buck. "It's Rose," the lady next to her whispered to her husband. "Buck's ex-wife." Rose Thorne, Francie thought. For the love of Pete, what a name. Buck wiped down the front of his polo shirt and Rose stalked out onto one of the many decks. "Now, darling," Mrs. Fredrickson said, turning once again to Francie, "the family room is down those stairs." She swept her elegant arm toward the stairway again, more insistently this time. "There'll be fireworks on the dock in a little while." Francie dutifully walked downstairs into a scented cloud of perfume, aftershave, cologne, and hair product. Lettice and her city friends were hanging out on the couches and chairs, watching a movie and getting smashed. It looked like Lettice had raided her parents' liquor cabinet for the hard stuff, while upstairs the adults sipped wine. One of the guys caught her eye. It was that guy she'd walked right into, the one with the bouquet of flowers, no doubt for a girlfriend, and yep, sure enough, he looked like he was with someone. Except for that guy, and he seemed to be taken, these were not the people she was looking for, and at the first opportunity, Francie glided back up the stairs and back into the tantalizing world of the adults. The kitchen. Why hadn't she thought of it before? In her experience, that was where actors hung out, close to the refrigerator. The kitchen was strangely empty, further proving to her that there were no theater people here. The people at this party got enough to eat without scrounging in other people's kitchens, apparently. She heard Buck's voice. He seemed to be coming her way. Having no desire to talk to him, she slipped into a pantry as he entered the kitchen. Buck turned on the tap and held a towel under it as another, younger man entered. Francie recognized him as Buck Jr. "Hey, Pop," said the younger man. "Oh, it's you, is it?" the elder Buck mumbled. Francie took another step into the recesses of the pantry where, although she could no longer see, she also couldn't be seen. It made her feel detective-ish. Plus, she really didn't want to make small talk with either of them. "I've been looking all over for you," said the younger Buck. "Yeah? I need some cash." "What else is new?" "Come on! You know I don't have any cash." "Everything tied up in real estate?" "I'm warning you, little Buck," Buck Sr. said. "Don't call me that," Buck Jr. growled. "Yeah, okay, whatever." That was Buck Sr. "I thought you were going to be selling condos like hotcakes by now." "Yeah, well, I've run into a snag or two." "Liquefy some assets, that's what I'm saying. My deal is gold. Gold. You ever hear that old story about the treasure they say is buried around here?" "The treasure? Seriously?" Francie leaned in. Buck Sr. mumbled, bored. "Well, Pop, I found it," Buck Jr. said. "It's in there." Francie glanced around her, hoping he was not pointing at the pantry. "That's not where it is," Buck Sr. said. "Where is it then?" said Jr. There was the sound of ice clinking in a glass. Buck Sr. was the only person she'd noticed drinking a mixed drink. Everyone else was drinking wine or beer. That was a silly thing to think about when treasure was being discussed, Francie thought. Buck Sr. grunted and swallowed. "Where are the glasses?" young Buck asked. "I've got a powerful thirst." Francie heard his footsteps echoing around the immense kitchen, growing closer. She glanced up and noticed through the glass windows of the cupboards in her hideout, glasses of every shape and size glittering inches from her nose. "Try that pantry over there," Buck Sr. suggested.